gonna show you two birthday cards. They are pretty much identical because I made them for my twin cousins, and they look like this. It's autumn now, or we're inside November, so pretty much autumn here, but there should be snow, but there's still no snow, so that's why I decided to make some autumn theme. These ones were really easy to make. I actually made another few ones, but I was unhappy with them, so I had a lack of inspiration. But then I came up with this one. I saw a video on YouTube on how to make this, and I decided to try to make them. I didn't have the stamping pad, so I'm going to show you what I used. I used a roller and ink roller, and I used the color instead, like water droplets and color. So, but if you have the stamping pad, that's going to be better, I guess. But this is a nice effect as well. So I made these two. This says here, wishing you happiness, and looks like that. And on the inside, there's the same stamp that there. And then just some cutouts from the paper, leftovers, and the greeting comes here. And nothing special on the back side, just my little signature. So to make this card, and as you can see, one of them has a black background. Oh, you can see it shimmers too in gold. Can you see gold shimmer? And the other one has also gold shimmer, and the other one is brown. So black on that one and brown on this one. I couldn't really decide, so I made one of each. One brown background and one black background. So to make this, you actually have to protect your working area. So you're gonna take some scrap paper because it's gonna be messy. So take something to protect. And then you're gonna start out with just a plain white paper, maybe watercolor paper or something just plain white. And the first thing you're gonna do is, when you have that white paper, this one is shiny, so don't mind that. It has to be not shiny, just normal paper. And then you're gonna take a sticky note, you know, these post-it notes that are adhesive here, up here, and not adhesive here. So just take one of those post-it notes where you can put on the fridge or anywhere, and punch out a circle, and make sure that you get some of that stickiness with it. So this one is half sticky and half not, these post-it notes, and I think you're gonna need two because they get pretty wet easily and then it's gonna bleed through. So I take two per card and just place it wherever you want to have the sun, and make sure that if you go on this way, then you're gonna lift it. If you go that way, then make sure that the adhesive is up here and not down there. Otherwise you might get, if you put it like this and it's gonna be like this, it might get away when you do the rolling thing. So make sure that you put it the way so the movement goes like this. That was hard to explain. And then you're gonna take your roller, just a normal roller. I don't know if it's just a roller, yeah. And the thing is that you're gonna do, if you have a stamping pad, you're just gonna take the colors from the stamping pad. I did not have that. Well, I have the colors, but I haven't bothered to make stamping pads. So I took some parchment paper. It's not wax paper. This is the kind that you can put in oven and you can have food on top of it. So parchment paper, and I'm just going to show you what I did here with the parchment paper. I used my distress inks. I have them in these jars. This is the walnut stain, but you're gonna start with the yellow. So, and I have my color scheme here. I started with mustard seed, and I put only one drop of mustard seed on top of this, and then I sprinkle on some water. And this is just this was a hair product bottle, but I emptied it because the mini misters are so small. I run out of water so fast. So usually I use the mini misters for colors that I just want randomly, but this one is bigger and I use it with water and some, what was it called now? Perfect Pearls Gold. Perfect Pearls, it is that little, what is it called? Powder powdery thing, then you're gonna mix it just a little bit, mix it with water, and then you're gonna shake it well. So you're gonna take 1 drop of the mustard seed yellow and then sprinkle on a lot of water with Perfect Pearls Gold, if you want the gold shine. As you can see here, it has that goldy shine. If you don't want the goldy shine, just leave out the Perfect Pearls, but if you want the goldy shine, then put on some goldy powder inside this. Then you're going to take a roller and roll it around a few times, and then you're going to go back to your template and put on some water and move like that, and lift, move and lift, move and lift. And then when it's completely yellow, you're gonna take another part of the parchment paper, and that time I actually use mustard seed. What's it called now? No, walnut stain. Sorry. Walnut stain was the brown one for the ground here, as you can see. You could use tea dye. Tea dye is a lot lighter, but I used walnut stain. It's pretty dark here, but since you mix it with water, it's gonna be lighter. And I did the same thing, but that time I wanted it, as you can see, there's a little pattern here, like it's supposed to be mountain or something areas, mountain areas. So that time I took a template. You're just gonna take some random paper, scrap paper, and just gonna rip it like this and try to make it like mountains and stuff. So it's not just a line, it has a little bit of texture to it. And you're gonna put it upside down like this on top of it, and make sure it's bigger, because now I have, this is just a little, I show you just now, but you have to have bigger so it covers this area. And then you're just gonna do the same thing, take some walnut stain, mix it with water, and then go only on this area. And then if you want, as you can see here, I have a little bit lighter here and a little bit lighter there, and this one is really dark. You could do that if you move this around. So once you have got one layer like that, you could move it around like this, and then do again just a few strokes, and then maybe move like that and just a few strokes, and then you get sort of like dark in the front, and in the background there's lighter, so it looks like there's dimension to it, that there's a big mountain in the front and then another mountains in the background. So you could do that as well if you want. As here you can see a big mountain and small mountains in the background. And then when you have done that, you're gonna remove this one, and then you go on to the, maybe at this point I would remove this one and put a new one on, because they get really soaky and wet, and that is not nice, because if it starts to bleed, you're gonna end up like this. So you can see here on this one, the color came to the sun, so you can see it's not perfectly round anymore like this. It has got color bleedings here. So make sure that you change these sticky notes often so it won't bleed. If you want that bleeding thing, it's okay, but I didn't want to, so I had to skip this one and make 2 new ones. But here you can see the gold as well in the sky, the glittery goldy. Anyway, then you're gonna place once again the sticky notes, and this time I took the color Worn Lipstick. That's the second last one. It's pretty light red, so you're just gonna go again, mix it with water, and go again like this, and you start from up. This time you use it like this, so you start from the up and go down as you want, and then you take more color and do it again. And then when you're done with that, I lastly used Fired Brick. That's a darker red, and I only took up here a little bit, as you can see. So this one has Fired Brick on the top, and then just the Worn Lipstick on the downside. So then you're done. You're gonna leave it to dry. It's important that you leave it to dry. You can remove this one, and if you want now to make some little bit of color, you could, I just took with my finger. You could use a sponge, but I took a little bit with my finger from the parchment paper and went around and got a little bit of color on the sun. So it's not just a big white blob, just a little bit of red or yellow, so we get some color there, so it's not just plain and boring. And then when it was dry, I took my stamps, and the stamps that I used for this project, let me see, where did I put them? Here I have them. I used this stamp here. You can use whatever you want. I used this one here. It's by Inka Dinka Do, and it's called Asian by Design. And I used that one, and black distress ink. And I also used by Fiskars this one. This one was long, but I made it short, so only that part of it can be seen. And this is by Fiskars, a really big stamp set. And it's called, I can't really find anything. Oh, it says Asian Inspired. Asian Inspired by Fiskars, and I used that one. So it is a little bit Asian, I suppose. And on the inside, I also used the Asian by Design by Inka Dinka Do. And then the greeting here, wishing you happiness. That's a stamp set also by Fiskars. I don't know if this one has a name. It should have. Oh, it's called Just Between Friends by Fiskars. And I used the stamp. You can actually make up your own sentences. This says wishing you, and I chose happiness. There's also friendship, joy, and love, but I just used wishing you happiness. So that's a stamp set by Fiskars as well. And I used them all with black. And once they were done, I took a normal black pen, and I free-handedly drew these birds here, just some small normal, you know, these birds you write, draw when you're in kindergarten and stuff, these easy birds that they're flying here. I like this pattern of birds better than this one. This one is just randomly. So try to make them look like they're for real flying or something, like a nice shape to it. And that's how I got that one. Then I let it dry, and once everything was nice and dry, I took some brown paper cardstock and black cardstock and used my advanced tape glider, put on some tape here. Oh, and by the way, if you start out with the A5 background, you're gonna trim it so it will fit this card, because I think this is A5 or A6. I'm not sure, A6 perhaps. Maybe this is A5 and this is A6. So I trimmed out some of the lines here, and I cut out with deckled scissors. So this one, and I just glued them on here as well with double-sided tape. So this one is deckled scissors, and that one is deckled scissors, and the other one is just a line. So I took them from the front side, because otherwise it would have been covering the whole front side. So I cut that out. Same thing here, deckled scissors and normal. So I saved these from the front side, used them on the inside to make it match a little bit, and then I glued them on together. And I have to show you, this is my new cutting tool. Before, I always used, for every card project that I made, I used one of these, and these are really hard to get straight. I have lines and waves and then just small lines, but this is just one straight line, and I usually put them down on the paper and then I just go over it, and they could be crooked and they're not completely straight. So this is what I used, and one of my friends said, are you really using that for all your cards? That's crazy. So I thought, okay, I need to invest in something else. This one has been good if you have really large cardstock, but for everyday cards it's really hard to make straight. So I actually bought this one from Fiskars. I have to say it's small. This is the A5 size. So it's great for small photos and small cards. But if you buy these large cardstocks and try to cut it, it's impossible. You can't do that. You can only do A4 like this, and, or is it A4, this one, and A5 this size. So it's really small, but it's this guillotine, and I can just show you. You just put it there. Now I get it straight every time, just like that, and it cuts straight, and it's great for cards and photos, but it's horrible for those big things, big cards. So I still have to look for something else for my big cards, but this one is really hard to get straight. But now I have this one, so yay, I bought something new for my crafting thingy. So that's how I got them smaller, and they're straight. They're not crooked in any way, they are straight. So I'm happy with that. It was perfect for this project, but in bigger scale it's bad, that cutter. So that's how you got this one. It was really easy to make, and if you have any questions, please let me know. And thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day, and see ya. And or if you don't have these yards and the parchment paper, it's a lot easier to just take from the stamping pad. That's like better idea. But if you don't have stamping pads with the colors, use this and some water to make it more not so strong colors. So that's a great idea. And if you have any question, please let me know. And thank you for watching, and I wish you all a great day. See ya. Bye bye.